Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Mags, and today we're going to learn the best export settings for Instagram to take up the most screen real estate possible. Let's go. So we're at your desktop. We're going to head down and open up Lightroom. I've already got a couple photos that I have selected right here that are taken in a landscape format, but we're going to want to change the crop to make them into a portrait format to take up the most screen real estate on Instagram as possible. The name of the game is to take up screen real estate so that people have a longer or a better chance of seeing your photos, and they tend to appear better when you're looking through the timeline. That's just my personal preference. You could think something completely different, and there are a couple of Instagram photographers that do still like the landscape format and put up their artwork on Instagram that way. It's completely and totally up to you. But today we're going to learn how to take up the most screen real estate as possible. So we're going to go over to our Develop tab. These are a couple of photos that I have taken on my iPhone. We were traveling down the road. I was going tubing in Colorado. This is a very long time ago, so it's several generations of iPhone back. But the tool we're going to be using today is specifically the Crop Overlay tool. We're going to go to Crop Overlay or hit R on your keyboard, and you're going to see your rule of thirds pop up. There's some other things that you can do with this. Change your angle, constrain your crop to your image. All of that's fine and dandy, but today we're only going to be worrying about aspect. And it's going to be set to original first and foremost. There's a small lock tool right here, and that's actually going to lock what's called your aspect ratio. If I leave that unlocked, I can move my sides independently. If I leave it locked, if I move one side, the other sides are going to move in conjunction to wherever I'm moving that first side. Anyway, from original, we're actually going to go down one by one is what Instagram traditionally is set at. You can take one by one or square photos, and some people still like to take square photos. However, to take up the most screen real estate, we're looking at 4 by 5. We're going to click this, and you're going to see it didn't change too much of the crop. In fact, the photo is actually too long this way to take up as much screen real estate that we want. So all we have to do is hit X on the keyboard, and it changes the orientation of the crop. Now I have a perfect 4 by 5 image that I can go through and kind of change things up and try to make something more feasible for my phone to have. So there's a couple elements that I can do. I can frame up my photo left or right, and in the preview or the navigator window here, I can see how that image is going to look when I finally set everything where it needs to be. I'm actually going to line my crop up with these two posts right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my aspect where I want to, because I want that nice 4 by 5, and I'm actually going to pull this bottom edge up because I don't want any of the side mirror of the car to be showing in my photo. Now the side mirror is gone, so I can move this around just a little bit to see if I want to change some of the different aspect, and then I'm just going to go down here and hit done. Now this photo is perfectly laid out, so when I go and export it directly to, I use Google Drive because that sends it directly to my phone. I can use my Google Drive app, and you can send photos. If you have a Windows PC, you can send photos directly to your phone without degrading the image. If you have a Mac, you can actually airdrop stuff directly from your computer to your phone. However, I have a Windows PC, and I'm using an Apple phone, so I'm going to use the Google Drive method. But now this photo is exactly the way I want it to be. We'll try it on a different image. I've got this one over here that I've already finalized. There are a couple of features here at the bottom that I'm not a big fan of. I do like this road, but in all fairness, I like this peak more than I like this road, and I find that this makes it way more interesting. So again, I'm going to go up to my Crop Overlay tool. I'm going to change this from as shot, and I'm going to take it all the way down to 4 by 5, and we're going to do the same thing. Go ahead and hit X on your keyboard, and it's going to change the orientation, and now we can now move our photo left and right and try to frame up exactly how we want this final image to be. I quite like that a little bit. It's showing a little bit of the road in the distance, so it gives that photo a little bit of depth that we're going farther away, but it also lets you know how high the mountain looks. So we're going to go down here, hit done, and that is now my finalized photo that's going to show up on Instagram. Once I have my finalized aspect ratio, I have my 4 by 5, I'm going to head up to, or I can right click my image and go to export. We're going to do export one more time, and then I could hit my specific folder. So this is actually going to my Google Drive and under a folder I call Lightroom. I can put it in a subfolder if I want to, and I can change the custom text. So this one is going to end up being Mountain Pass. Sure, we'll name it that. Underneath all this stuff, we're going to keep everything pretty much the same for our file settings. Since it's going to Instagram, we want to keep it on JPEG, and the color space we can keep on sRGB. And I've actually taken the quality down from 100 to about 76. You actually can go to 72. 72 is the quality that you would use for web, because you have to keep in mind that when you're putting something on the internet, it is going to be compressed. So I'm going to export it at a smaller file size, because it's not really going to change by the time I put it up on Instagram or Facebook or anything else. And the same thing with resolution down here. Since it's going to the web, we're going to keep resolution on 72, and I'm not going to refit the size or do anything else for that. After the export, I put do nothing, and then I just go ahead and hit export. And then from there, it'll show me I'm exporting one file, and then it's going to go to my Google Drive. From Google Drive, I can go ahead and transfer it directly onto my phone, and then it's off to the races. Instagram, Facebook, 500 pics, Flickr, wherever I want to put my photo, that's where it's going to end up. All right, and that's it. Quick, dirty, and simple. Best export settings to use for Instagram. It's kind of weird the way that everything works, but that larger screen real estate does make a big difference, especially while people are scrolling. So have some fun, share some more photos up on Instagram, tag me in them so I can check out some of you guys' work. I'd really like to connect with some other creatives, whether you're a photographer or you're a videographer or anything in between. Just let me know. I'd like to see your stuff. Anyways, guys, don't forget to follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, check out my Facebook page. That's where I post all of my stuff. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to ask them in the comment section below. That's gonna do it for me. I'm off like a prom dress, and I'll see you in the next one.